Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you for joining me. Left-wing terrorism is not being covered in mainstream media. It's very dangerous. It's a dangerous topic to be ignoring, and it's framing the conversation in a way that is not, so we're not having honest conversations. Many people think right-wing terrorism is the biggest threat in our country, and I have yet to see proof of that. I need to see more proof. Why are we just talking about right wing terrorism? Do not politicize our agencies, because now you are putting us all in danger. Enough with this political garbage. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Yesterday, Andy No posted some videos about what happened in Portland. He literally posts stuff every day. This is nothing new. Nothing new here. At the armed, he called it a BLM march. Andy No is an expert in Antifa and Black Lives Matter. So if he's calling it Black Lives Matter, to me that stands out as not being Antifa. But they're so interchangeable right now. The armed BLM march this afternoon in North Portland that intimidated a residential area. The extremists smashed up an occupied car on the road. Attacks on drivers by rioters is commonplace in Portland. They got guns. What country am I looking at this video from? Like, is this Somalia? Like, what is going on? This is just unbelievable. This is like something out of a bad movie or something. It happens every day out there, and it's escalating. We're seeing guns now involved. Andy, no, today, this is the same yesterday as well. Yesterday, May 6th, 2021. Today, armed BLM protesters in Portland shut down the road. They beat up this older man and stole his gun. Additionally, the rioters smashed out windows of another vehicle. One person was transported to the hospital. Police made no arrests. Why is this happening? I have another channel where I'm uploading clips and classic moments, and I'm not going to put them all on this channel here just because I just don't want to annoy people with alerts and notifications. So if I have a channel that's just only for these type of things, then you know what you're getting into. This is the channel. So if you look down here, it's SITM, stuck in the middle, clips and classics. And I posted some video here. This is disturbing.
You better fucking not. You better fucking not. You better fucking not. Put your fucking gun down. Put your fucking gun down. Hey, back the fuck up. Leave. Get out of here now. Get out now. Leave. Leave. Fucking leave. Leave. Don't you fucking dare. Get the weapon. Get the weapon. Get the weapon. Get him on the ground.
I don't know what do you say to that? If you support this, or if you
Bless the Commonwealth.
If you support this, that was Ted Cruz. Look, Jesus Christ. What was that, Ted? Let me go back to that real quick.
God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia.
I digress. What the hell is Ted Cruz doing? But let me stop. This is not a laughing matter. What is up with his hair, man? He's crazy. He's got that Elon Musk dude going, that mullet. If you are if you agree with this left-wing violence, help me understand. Comment. And understand this too. I am looking for this information now. I'm doing videos. I'm very interested. I always have been interested. I could be making a bigger deal out of this stuff than it really is. I am open to that as an opportunity, opportunity for me to be better and not scare people. I'm not trying to scare people here. I'm just trying to balance out, and really that's what YouTube was. Really, the essence of YouTube is to have someone in their basement kind of give you a perspective you don't get on CNN. Because why would I do something that you could get on CNN? You can just go on CNN. They do it better. They're more polished. They've got better cameras, better lighting. let me know if you find value to this, or is it just scaring people or what? But for me, I just need to talk about it, get it out of my head too. They took screenshots of this incident with the truck and weapons. The guy has weapons. They're packed with heat. 2 guns right there. I know this guy drew his gun. That was a mistake to get out of the truck, but it's probably like this animal instinct of fight or flight, and he chose fight, and luckily it didn't end worse than that. But you know this is going to happen. We already had the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. This is not going to end well. This is basically likes to fight guy is having their dream come true. And all you have to do, if you're likes to fight guy, all you have to do is drive on over to Portland in the Pacific Northwest and say, I'm there for Black Lives Matter. And that means you're not a terrorist. You're not doing anything wrong. You link up with other people who are likes to fight guy, or people who actually are weak and not good at fighting, but they're in a group and they feel protected. It's just attracting more and more of this. Black Lives Matter for that, they're not labeled a terrorist organization. I can understand why not. But groups are using them as cover. Antifa, I know for a fact, is using Black Lives Matter as cover. Go read Andy Ngo's book. He talks about it. That's partly what that link there is for. So there are tensions sometimes between Black Lives Matter and Antifa, but they are mostly in unison at this point. Black Americans, are we okay with this? Are we going to allow them to use us and use a slogan with our skin color? The slogan doesn't mean anything. You've got to stop using that slogan. It should be shunned. People are using it to cover, to do all of their other biddings and doing. What does this have to do with Black Lives Matter? Now, this is Antifa, the group that uses Black Lives Matter, always using the color of someone's skin or oppressed groups as a cover for the nonsense that they're involved with. These kids that we raised up and cuddled and hid and provided everything for, saw the market crash, and some of them just turned to, I need some love, I need a hug, I need a group, and they turned to this group, Antifa, some of them. They released on the same day that Joe Biden did his 100-day speech, they released a disturbing, I knew it was going to get taken down. I retweeted it on Twitter. It literally threatened the life of Portland's mayor, Ted Wheeler. In the video, look at Wikipedia. What a joke Wikipedia is. That's why you don't see me use Wikipedia that often. I might use it every once in a while, but I'm searching terror on the article of Antifa in the United States. Terror, part of the right characterizes it as this terrorist group. Trump and Barr tried to designate it. After reports and studies have concluded that Antifa is not a major domestic terrorism risk, and far-right extremists and white supremacy as the top. Nothing is more dangerous than skewed statistics. So Wikipedia is right. They can say that. Several analyses, reports, and studies have concluded that Antifa is not a major domestic terrorism risk, and far-right is. It's an accurate statement. It's disingenuous. This whole article is gunk. As far as that angle goes, it's biased, but it's accurate because another article reported that. Didn't we just see videos of terror? Aren't we seeing videos of terror coming out of Portland damn near every day? Do you remember when Joe Biden called Antifa an idea? USA Today tried to fact check this. This fact checking is the same manipulation that they do with data. This is the fact checking. So the quote that's out of context is Joe Biden said Antifa is an idea. It didn't have the full context. True, that's not the full quote. I agree with that. Let me play it.
You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
White supremacists and right.
Proud Boys.
stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa is an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia.
Joe Biden, the reason why Joe Biden couldn't wait for Trump to be done, Trump was stumbling and bumbling all over himself there. That was embarrassing, because he has the right moral high ground on this argument and stumbled through it and stand back and by. That's bad stuff. But the reason why Joe Biden couldn't hold himself is because that was the talking point they taught him to. I'm just speculating here, but that's just my opinion. That was the talking point. As soon as they bring up Antifa, Joe Biden was supposed to bring up Donald Trump's own FBI director said that Antifa is an idea, not an organization. This fact check is garbage. Quote attributed to Joe Biden about Antifa is missing context. No, it's not. The only time context is missing is if it changes the quote. The quote, Joe Biden said Antifa is an idea, not an organization, is fine. You don't need any more context, because the additional context of him talking about Trump's FBI director saying it doesn't change it. That's what Joe Biden believes. He never said anything otherwise. He was saying your own FBI director says it's an idea. And then he didn't say it was wrong. So that is just disingenuous. There is no context needed. He agreed with it. Tacitly agreed with it, because obviously, why would he say that if he didn't agree with it? That would make it even worse. That would be him lying, agreeing that it really is a domestic terrorist organization, but just lying and saying, blaming the FBI director. So that these fact checks are ridiculous. What is an organization? An organization is an entity such as a company, institution, association, comprising of one or more people having a particular purpose. So you might say Antifa, even Black Lives Matter to a certain extent, is decentralized. But let's listen to this undercover video of Antifa when one of the militant leaders was chastising the group for bad tactical decisions.
What the fuck? Tonight, any night that we're out here is never about the motherfucking bikey boys. Yeah, we can talk our topic as we're walking past, but never should we just be stopping. Because you know what that allows them to do? Grab. And you know what that does? Weakens our numbers. Has people fucking run. When I've been telling you for 290 plus days not to fucking run, because you know what that does? It puts disabled people who are out here in danger. It puts black people who cannot run in danger.
It sounds like a corporate meeting where some plan went wrong. Or like a football team where you're at the halftime and you're down by 40 or something. It's an organization. Yeah, isn't it funny that she mentioned 290 days? Like, how long is this going to go on? And it's just getting worse. That's the power of purposely misrepresenting this stuff. So Ron DeSantis says, if you're in a car and there's 3 or more people protesting in the street in your way, you have the right of way. That's what the law says. So you can twist it and say you could run people over or whatever. Yeah, but you have the right of way. And you look at these videos, of course you should have the right of way to get the hell out of there. It's safer for everyone if we all know the car, the 2-ton piece of steel that could kill you. It's better if we all understand that has the right of way. So if you want to illegally protest on the sidewalk. Or better yet, get a permit and legally block the street and legally protest somewhere. Yeah, that's a crazy idea, isn't it? Going in the street, these are not the peaceful protests of the civil rights era. And keep in mind, Martin Luther King Jr. in the civil rights era had the goal of, he knew that we were in a capitalist society. So that's why he called for boycotts. That's why he called for doing it at diners and do not go to these diners. You don't want to give them your money. Nobody's talking about money out here. They don't even know what they're doing. I'm going to end on this thread. This Bree Newsom account, I don't even know who that is. but she's like Brooklyn Dad, basically, to me. Complete garbage coming out of this Twitter account all the time. How many followers does she have? Damn. Almost 500,000 followers, and spits nothing but garbage and poison to her country. Just almost like a bot. Garbage, 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 garbage. Probably worse than Brooklyn Dad's account, to be honest with you. White supremacy, well, I'm glad Biden named white supremacy specifically as the greatest threat to peace and safety here, not some vague domestic extremism. Where are you getting this information from? Are you just... So I reply, white supremacy is vague. Who is he referring to? What acts of terrorism have happened due to this white supremacy? This is not rhetorical. I'm really asking because I haven't seen it. Maybe I just don't know. I could be ignorant. Here's the replies. It's not that vague. Tim Scott was just talking about it. We've known for decades. Just still not answering the question. No one's answering the question yet. So this person says, literally the majority of American terrorism is due to white supremacy. Bruh, I asked you what it was. You're just saying that. Where is the evidence? Where are the articles? That doesn't mean it's not there, even if there are no articles. I just need something tangible. Far-right groups are behind most of the U.S. terrorist attacks. That's from the New York Times. They're manipulating this, feeding poison to people. Far-right groups are behind most U.S. terrorist attacks. A report finds. So this is official, right? It's this, according to a report by the think tank, the Center for Strategic and International Studies. So I'm like, okay, if that's the data, then I wouldn't even be doing this video. So then I replied to this person who posted a link like this was their proof, and I don't blame them. They didn't dig into it. It's happened to me before. I said, take out all the left protests and civil disturbances, and all you have left is far right in the data. Again, where are they? What are the tangible issues? Again, wow. So I said the whole damn country has been in fear. Of far left protests and riots, and that's left out of the data? Look, I looked into it. The Center for Strategic and International Studies, this is where they got it from the New York Times. I'm reading from their definition of what they included. In addition, this analysis does not focus on protests, looting, and broader civil disturbances. While these incidents are important to analyze, particularly in the light of the events in 2020 following the death of George Floyd, most are not terrorism. So most are not? Then why don't you count the ones that are? Some are not violent. That's not what we're asking to cover. While others lack a political motivation. So that's where we get to Antifa. They're saying Antifa is an apolitical organization. And on its face, it should be. It's an anti-fascist group. That's why it's anti-fascist. So it's Antifa, really. If you pronounce it right, it's Antifa. Anti-fascist. That's what they're doing. So they're not including Antifa in this data. For instance, some of the looting was, following the death of George Floyd, was perpetrated by apolitical criminals. I agree with that. No one said to count that. Nevertheless, coding incidents as terrorism is challenging in some cases, which is addressed in the methodology that accompanies this analysis. In other words, the article that you sent to me as proof that the far-right groups are behind most U.S. terrorist attacks is complete garbage. Because it's not including apolitical. Why don't they have a category that says apolitical? It doesn't have to be far right or far left. If you want to count Antifa as apolitical, count them as an apolitical domestic terrorist organization. This is disingenuous. It's done on purpose. And it gives people it's filtering them the wrong information. I'm going to write a letter to at least my congressperson, senator, and give them my thoughts. I know this is the funniest thing in the world. Yeah, what is a letter going to do? Nothing. But I've got to do something, and I've got to figure out. So let me know What should my next plan be if I want to let our politicians know I am unhappy with this being ignored? I know you know about it, and I'm unhappy with this being ignored. I'm not okay with it. I don't live in the Pacific Northwest, thank God, or I'd be moving out. I don't live out there, but I'm concerned about our country, and I'm concerned about why we aren't talking about it. Why aren't we labeling them as a domestic terrorist organization? Whether you want to call them apolitical or not. And we'll get a good laugh out of the answers from my representatives. Take care.